I've been thinking about good times. So tell me all your worst lies. I believe them if I try. For the sake of time, just give me the eye. I've been thinking about. Don't blow my heart.
Baseball season is back, and I'm just gonna throw this out there right at the beginning. Even if you're not into baseball, you don't care about sports, baseball games are super fun. And like, let's be real, the Mariners don't have like the best track record ever, but that's not gonna stop me from going to the games. I figured it'd be fun just to make this video and kind of give you the overall what it's like to go to a Mariners game here in Seattle. I'm definitely not the biggest like baseball buff, so if you're looking for stuff like that, it's probably not the video. We're the type of people that go and buy the cheapest tickets and go stand in the beer garden for the most part, but I just figured I'd kind of give you an overall what's the best things and best food there and just Seattle things, you know. Welcome to my channel if you haven't been here before. We do this a lot. So I guess we could start with like the best transportation to the game because you gotta get there first before you can experience it. Basically my favorite route to get there would be taking the light rail. It's super quick, it goes underground, so there's no traffic, which traffic can be huge when going to the games, especially on like a big game. It's seriously so fast and it's like $2.75 I think, so it's cheap too. But sometimes you run a little bit behind, so an Uber is kind of like the best way because obviously you have to get to the light rail station, so if you're not close, sometimes Uber's easier. And then also, as a last option, I have seen people take scooters there. I guess from downtown, it wouldn't be that far, and it's kind of fun. If you haven't done a scooter, it's kind of fun. Be careful though, because another thing that's kind of fun about the Mariners games are throughout the season, they scatter in like freebie nights and themed nights. So if you go on one of those and you get there on time or early, let me preface on time or early, you can get a cool like hat or t-shirt or bobblehead. We tried to do that on this night that I was filming. We literally got there almost, honestly, barely even 10 minutes late and there were none left. I'm super bummed about it, but it just goes to show you gotta get there early if you want the freebie. I was honestly super bummed I didn't get the pink hat. It was cool. It's a cool hat. I wanted it. Let's talk about the food. Baseball stadiums by far have the best food options of any other sports. And I haven't been to a lot of other stadiums, but T-Mobile Park has really good options in my personal opinion. Some of my favorites just to list off are Din Tai Fung, Ivers, Marination, Kid Valley, Salt and Straw even. And I'm not gonna lie, while I was filming this, I ended up learning that there were a lot more things at T-Mobile Park that I didn't even know were there. Like there's a winery and a market and all these other little places that I didn't even know were there that are awesome. There was even this little kind of like hidden museum, I guess, but it had all of the like original memorabilia and like the Griffey stuff and just like the history behind it. It was really cool.
So, Ken Griffey Jr., greatest baseball player to ever live. Him and his dad played on the Mariners. And they're the only father-son duo who had back-to-back home runs.
And there's like a secret little bar back there that I didn't know that I kind of feel like they probably never have lines, which is nice to know. Oh yeah, and if you want to get a little extra fun, you should try the crickets. They have they have fried crickets with like chili and lime on them. And they're interesting to say the least. But apparently they're like one of the best selling items at T-Mobile Park.
All right, y'all, we're about to try grasshoppers. Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
I just broke yours.
It's not bad.
What is that seasoning?
Chili lime.
And honestly, with all that being said, I don't even know what it is about baseball games, but it really just makes me feel like I want a hot dog, so I usually just end up getting that regardless of all the other good food. So if it's opening night or just a big game in general, the environment is pretty chaotic. It kind of also depends on what you do there, which sounds weird because obviously you're there to watch a baseball game, but whether or not you watch it from your seats or you watch it from one of the bars or the beer gardens, you'll have quite a different experience. Like I said, for me and my friends, we typically like to buy the cheapest seats and then go to the beer gardens and hang out there. It's pretty distracting and a lot going on, but it's fun, and it's also kind of like You get to watch the game here and there because, let's be real, half the time I don't know what's going on. It's kind of like when you put on a TV show that you've seen a million times because you kind of want it just in the background. This sounds terrible. If you love baseball, I'm so sorry, but that is just the experience that we go to have. And like I said, I think you can understand when your team is not the greatest, you kind of end up going more for the experience.
I'm on that carpet ride. I've been swerving, I'm a servant to my magic side.
Moving on to drinks, as I said before, there are multiple beer gardens. There is the Pen, which is the main one, that's the big one, and then there's also Edgar's Cantina, which is a lower level and an upper level. But I don't know if the upper level is open to everybody. We've never hung out at that one. I thought maybe it was just like a private one. I'm not sure about that. And then there's also a new Trident deck, which is the rooftop lookout place, bar. I really love the vibe of the Trident deck compared to all the other ones because it's a lot more laid back and chill. And you actually do get a really nice view of the city, especially if it's around sunset. That's super nice. However, if you want to watch the game, it's not a great place to do that because you can only see the field if you're up against the railing, which fills up the fastest, obviously. But with the Pen, also very chaotic, and for somebody who's 5'2" like me, you kind of have to be in a spot that you can, I don't know, at least be on the side. Otherwise, everybody seems to be so tall at baseball games and you just don't get to see anything from the Pen. But like I said, you learn the little spots to be in so you can at least see a little bit. And I also feel like it's not that hard to weasel your way to the front because I feel like a lot of people aren't really paying attention to what's happening around them. So if you're looking to buy some merch or whatever it is that you want to buy there are multiple shops, but there is a main one. I'll throw up the section it's in above because I would have to look it up. But that one has basically everything that you could need unless they just don't have it in stock. Otherwise, there are carts and other little shops scattered between the sections, which sometimes comes in clutch because one of the games that we went to recently, it was super cold because it's not quite summer yet, and I ended up buying a blanket because I was that cold. And honestly, I use it like every day, so it was worth the purchase.
Can you keep me high? Like to see you try.
If you're looking for a place to go before and or after the game, there are so many places scattered around in Pioneer Square, which are usually open on game days. If you're looking for a late night snack after a game, I highly recommend hitting Al's hot dog stand because that one is just known to be the best one, and it is really good, so go there. We also go to Gantry, I don't know which one it is, but we usually end up going there a lot of the time. It's pretty chill, it's not super big, but it's a good vibe. And then there's also Sluggers and Quality Athletics, and then so many other in the surrounding area. Oh, and big tip, honestly, for anybody that goes to a lot of sports games or concerts in general, I'm sure you probably already know this, but if you don't, buy a clear bag, because most places and venues don't let you in with like a backpack or a bigger purse. It has to be super small or clear. The one that I have is super cheap, but it's simple. I got it on Amazon. Would recommend. And then that way you don't have to worry about getting there and then they force you to buy a locker because it's overpriced and unnecessary if you can avoid it. Overall, I just love going to baseball games because it's such a fun and exciting environment just to be in, and the games are so cheap. I would love to go to more football games and things like that, but it's just too expensive. So I end up going to the most baseball games per season because A, there's a lot, and B, because they're so cheap. And C, because they're just so much fun. I can't even think of a time that I've had a bad time at a Mariners game. I've had all of the experience, whether it be sitting in my seat the whole time, being with family, being with friends, being drunk, being sober. It's always a good time. So with that being said, if you've never been to a Mariners game and you're in the city, you should definitely prioritize it to go, especially in the summertime when it's nice and beautiful out. And if you've been before, then you know all of this, but I'm glad you still watched this video anyways. That is going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you keep enjoying my Seattle videos. There's more to come. Now that summer's here, I have a lot more opportunities to film in the beautiful sunshine. So I will see you in the next one. Bye. Oh yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and all that stuff. Bye.
I know it's not always easy. Time slow.